Well, today we had a real strong wind all day. It was blowing hard from the northwest. Yesterday we avoided about 8 inches of snow by about 2 degrees of temperature. Great time in the harbor with a couple of good friends. So anytime we can get out in April, catch some fish, you know, get a bend in the rod, it's a great day, and we had a lot of fun. So I think you folks really like watching this segment. Today the sun poked out, high pressure moved in, crystal clear skies, I mean not a cloud in sight, despite, you know, about 20-mile-an-hour winds coming down out of the north. So it was cold. We had some cold water coming off of Lake Superior, and because of that we decided, you know, let's stick inland, let's fish one of the harbors. So we came up here to a harbor along Lake Superior, and we decided today we'd fish for Splake, which is a stocked fish that's a hybrid between lake trout and brook trout. So they're not naturally occurring, but they're a fish that's put in by the Michigan DNR, and it creates a fishery where these fish kind of come into the harbor, they kind of stay close to where they're put, and it's just a lot of fun going after them with light tackle. So they're a lot like it's a lot like trout fishing. You know, they're similar to a brook trout. They get a little bit bigger, kind of like a lake trout, and as you'll see, there's some real great potential up here in Lake Superior for some of these fish to live long and grow big. So it's kind of a neat fishery. You just don't know what you're going to get. You know, the average splake is probably a 12 to 14 inch fish. You know, a nice one is 16 or 18 inches, but occasionally these fish will get up over 20 inches. You know, some of them might even be 24 or 25 inches. So they can definitely put on a few pounds once they get that big. And boy, are they fun to catch. Oh yeah. Okay. So our strategy today was to get out of the wind, find the warmest water. It's still April. Right now we've got about 38-degree water all across this harbor, and with a few exceptions, you know, we're getting up into the lee end of the bay here, and the sun's been beating down all day. So what happened is this water is warmed up literally about a degree or two warmer than the rest of the harbor, and being sheltered here, that wind hasn't pushed all that warm water down into the other end yet. So it's given us an opportunity to set up in a nice area to fish. It's kind of calm relatively, and we can get our boat in and just use the electric motor in this shallow clear water to scoot around and find and hopefully catch some fish. So, you know, the game plan was to focus on warm water, focus on structure. The other thing that worked out today is that it looks like there's a little bit of turbidity. Normally this water in these harbors is gin clear, but being early in the year and given the big storms we've been having here in the last few days this week, we've got a lot of stuff in the water, a lot of debris, so the water's got a little stain to it. And that actually really helps these fish bite on a day where it's otherwise just bright and sunny. So that's kind of cool. And basically the plan, you know, we're starting to work the shoreline in this harbor here. We're using soft plastics, we're using small jigs, you know, we're using X-Straps, we're using some of the Husky jerks. You know, we're just using a variety of shallow diving crankbaits, and we're fishing some jigs and plastics relatively high in the water, kind of working them back in slowly.
I like how big that stuff is. Oh, there's one.
Introducing the ProNav Angler, a GPS-guided autopilot system that offers total boat control at an affordable price. Engineered to let anglers focus on fishing, the Angler easily connects to your bow mount trolling motor. Install the Angler app on your smartphone or tablet and control your boat's every move. Create and modify routes on and off the water without a chart plotter or sonar along prime lies, such as weed lines, drop-offs, and other structure. Serious fishermen understand the importance of quality lake charts. ProNav has partnered with Navionics to easily create and import routes using a high-fidelity map. Cache maps on your device to ensure seamless off-the-grid operation. Want to sit on a school of fish? The Anchor feature has you covered. Store unlimited routes and waypoints in the ProNav Cloud to ensure seamless operation between devices, including sharing of routes and waypoints. ProNav Angler, engineered for total boat control.
So we're pulling the jig over these rocks, and all of a sudden had this big splake chase it right into the boat. He turned on it last minute, didn't hit it. I pitched the jig back out ahead of him. He chased it again, right under the boat. And then, oh, look at that! Woo! That was close. Nice one. Oh, yeah. We threw the jig over some rocks here, and this fish chased it in right off the rocks. I could see him coming. He turned at it last minute right at the boat, swiped and missed. He took off. I threw the jig back ahead of this fish, started pulling it back, and he turned again and started following it in. And he was just sitting right under the boat. So I was doing the vertical jig. I dropped it to the bottom, lifted about a foot or two up, dropped it again, and on the next lift he just hammered it. And here he is, just a beautiful fish. Let this guy go. You know, with the water being as cold as it is, these fish are super lethargic. You know, kind of like us. When we get out here and it's about 38 degrees, you don't feel like doing a whole lot to expend any extra energy. So these fish are looking for an easy meal. And you know, one thing is this water warms up, the bait fish kind of come in here. There's not a lot of bait fish in this harbor, but it does attract what bait there is to one area. And of course, the predator fish, being the splake, are all going to follow. So it kind of worked out. You know, we've got warmer water, we've got the splake in close. We're using light tackles, so we're using about an 8.5 foot spinning rod, 12-pound fluorocarbons. It's clear water, so you know, on a bright day like this, like it was today, you can definitely run into issues where the fish are just spooky. You know, there was a couple instances we're going around here the harbor, and the boat's casting a shadow. And in this clear water, you can see these fish, you know, 10, 20 feet off, you know, to the side of the boat sometimes. And they come swimming through, typically in groups of 1 or 2 fish, you know, small groups. And we had one case today where there was a couple fish swimming just in front of the boat, and they were literally going along just as fast as the boat was drifting and staying about a foot or 2 out of the shadow of the boat, you know. So they were very aware of our presence, even though it didn't completely spook them. And they were just exerting as little energy as necessary to stay out of our way. Look at that.
Oh, its jaw's messed up.
It is, isn't it?
It looks like it's...
You know what's happened? This fish is, more likely than not, this fish was in a net one time and got released because it was not a target species. That's you know, a lot of times when they end up with messed up gill plates, it's because they get released out of a net because they're not desirable.
It's surprising it's lived this long.
Oh yeah, he's a survivor. Oh man, what a beauty.